Doo-doo-doom. Mhm. Let's put a countdown. Skip them. Hello, Shubham. Hello, Alexi. Do you see a place for generic union find data structure in Zig standard library? What's a union find? Can you share a link or something? Just to make sure we are talking about the same things. Okay. Hello, X2. Let me refill my drinking stuff and then we can, get something done. I'll be right back. YouTube deleted the Wikipedia link. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, YouTube is so fucking stupid. I am sorry about that. Oh, I can't even see it. Oh well. It's also called disjoint set. Okay. A collection of disjoint sets. Mm, I would say, in general, so far, what's in the standard library tends to be stuff that is needed by the compiler or the tool chain around the compiler. So, for example, there's an HTTP client because the package manager needs an HTTP client. There's an HTTP server because serving docs requires an HTTP server. Um, so, unless this data structure has a reason to be useful for the compiler one way or another, or the tool chain, as things stand right now, no, it would not belong in the standard library. It would be best as a third party package. Uh, but yeah. Okay. So hello everybody. Welcome to this stream. What are we doing now? I'll show you what we're doing. So check this out. I have a I have my personal website, and you might notice that the date field is a little bit different. Let me open a less weird entry. This one, I guess, is fine. Why does it look like this? The syntax highlighter is kind of going out of whack, I think. Although it might be my fault. In any case, the idea is um the idea is that now there's no more at date. Now when you make a date, it's a tagged union, and it can be .iso, or it can be .iso with an iso string, or it can be a Unix date. And what? Well, that's it. This is new Ziggy. This is new Ziggy working with Zine. So I can run the new Zine executable, the one that yesterday would not build, and yeah, there you go. So yeah, actually, you know what? I call it ISO 8681, but I don't 8601, but I don't think that's actually a full 8601 string. I think it's an RFC 3339. But whatever. It's fine for now. We'll deal with these stuff I guess at another point. But here's one problem. We have some regressions. One of these is daytime parsing. And why is it regress? Well, because now everything that I've written has the same date. They're all January 1st, 1970. And that is a problem. That is a problem indeed. So, how do we solve this? Yeah, Zig has been self-hosted for a while now. Sorry. It was harder. I don't know why it took us a very long time to make progress past that. I'm still kind of mad that we had the Zig compiler self-hosted in 1970, and still we have the pretty low adoption. If you think about it, man, it's been what, 70 years. More like 50, but it's been 50 years, still no adoption. Cringe. Oh well, no progress. Yeah. So what can we do? Please donate more money. That's the solution. Someone that is only familiar with Zig object notation, can you explain Ziggy? Yes, of course. Is it a standard / schema that differentiates from Zon? Yes to all your questions. So Ziggy has a website. It's ziggy-lang.io. And it's a data serialization language. It is more complex than Zon. And it has also a few other different properties. So it's essentially a data serialization language, but it's going for a set of different trade-offs than Zon. I would say that Zon is meant to be mainly simple, minimalistic, be very closely related to actual Zig. And when I say actual Zig, I mean it reuses a good chunk of the Zig tokenizer, etc. Ziggy is inspired by Zig in the sense that the syntax is, I stole syntax ideas from Zig. It's meant to look kind of like Zig, but it's not a one-to-one, and I don't care about reusing stuff from the standard library. While Zon has a good reason to do that, because Zon, the more Zon utilizes, the more the Zig compiler stays small, since the Zig compiler also has to parse Zon. So what are the key differences? Well, here's the main one. Ziggy is a JSON superset. A valid JSON document is a valid Ziggy document. The way it works is that Ziggy has two key value notations. One is essentially what is JSON. We call those dictionaries, and it's a container where in Ziggy, it's a container where key names don't have semantic meaning for the application. They are essentially free form, left up to the user. They might have semantic meaning at some point somewhere in the pipeline. I mean, hopefully they do, otherwise that would be useless data. But there is, how in package.json, it's the dependencies key that decides which dependencies get fetched by npm or not. And if you name this banana, then that's not going to work. So in Ziggy, fields that have that meaning should be instead in part of a struct. So this is a struct, for example, and a struct uses dot identifier =, notation, and it, again, at the mechanically they're both key value containers, but this one signifies to the user that these fields have semantic meaning for the application. So the idea is that a JSON document deserializes into, can be parsed as a Ziggy dictionary, but then you can take your JSON stuff, and so not only you can immediately upgrade by just using a Ziggy implementation to load your JSON, but then you can upgrade it bit by bit. Another thing is, also, sorry, why do we have structs? What is the point of having a different notation? Well, the point of having a different notation is because Ziggy also has a schema language. And the schema language looks a lot like defining types in Zig. It's just a slightly simplified version of that syntax. And then the toolings, can look at your schema and use the language server to provide you with documentation, autocomplete, the usual stuff. There's a bunch of tooling also for validating. So the Ziggy CLI tool has auto formatting, querying, which is not implemented yet, but you can think of it as a JQ, but for Ziggy. Schema checking, format conversion, not implemented yet, or rather it was partially implemented, then it regressed. I have not unregressed it yet, so not implemented currently. LSP, language server, that one is totally done. I regressed some stuff in it, but it is mostly done. So you bother with this notation both for convenience for your users, but also because that gives you access to this kind of stuff. Last major feature is tagged unions. I hate how you cannot express tagged unions nicely in JSON. In JSON, tagged unions are cringe. Either it's a object that keeps mutating shape with a type field that tells you which case you should be in, but then that is like kind of hostile to efficient parsing because you have to go all the way down until you find it before you can really make sense of what the rest is supposed to be. If you're trying to not parse into an AST, but you're trying to deserialize immediately into a target type, for example. The alternative version is that you have a object, a JSON object that has a single key, and that single key keeps mutating because that one is your union tag, essentially. I that's better in some ways. I still fucking hate it. So Ziggy has explicit syntax for that. This one is kinda Zig syntax, but not quite, right? Because in Zig, you also do dot curly, and then there's the union case. So you don't have special syntax for it. Syntactically speaking, just by looking at a literal, you cannot tell the difference between a struct that has a single field versus a union. You just cannot tell the difference visually. Here, instead, we want the syntax to be different because we want to communicate the intent more precisely. And so we are using, since there are no function calls because it's a data language, this is a decal function call, essentially, or that's what it would be in Zig, right? But for us, this is a union. This is a union with the active case command. So in my front matter, then, for example, date turns into this ISO. It's cool because it makes it look like a constructor. But it is a tagged union, essentially. I would say this is mostly it. I would recommend to go to the website so that you can read more in detail. I have more explanations on why I'm trying to do things this way. One thing, for example, that I really like is that the schema language is actually readable by humans, while JSON schema is it's impossible to read. It's not only impossible to read because it's a bad idea to have the schema language be a special document. In my opinion, it is a bad idea. I guess you get more mileage out of the language. You don't need a secondary language. That is fair. But man, this is unreadable. Like, if you go to this page, design, it's the docs and then tagged unions under design tips. This is impossible, man. Like, this is just fucking impossible. And the thing is, they are insane because what the heck is $ref? They have $ref, and then they have like they have things where they say, oh, you know what? The field that you can put in there has to match a regular expression. Why? Why are you allowing me to only put fields that match a regular expression? Why are you like this? What even is the point of this? Why are you forcing on somebody an API this fucked up? But that's what they do. That's all they do with JSON schema. So JSON schema, in my opinion, has of all the issues that it might have, it has the problem that it's way too powerful. It's allowing you to define all the weird tortured APIs that you can come up with. Oh, you know what? This is gonna be a JSON object, and then there's gonna be these fields that are optional, and then there's gonna be this field that has to match a regular expression, and then there can only be fields with any name, but they have to be this subtype. It's like, why are you doing it like this? So in Ziggy, for example, things are either a struct or a union, meaning that you cannot mix match the two. You cannot make that this is a partially a struct, meaning that some fields are always going to be present, and partially a tagged union in the sense that then these remaining optional fields come in these like 3 optional sets. In Ziggy, you are forced to split this into 2 different definitions. One is a struct, and one is the union. That's it. Also, there's this thing where they do where, oh, you know this field foo? This field foo can be a number, an array of numbers, and maybe an object. Which is it? So in Ziggy, you cannot do that. In Ziggy schema, you cannot do that. in Ziggy schema, you can only express fields as, like, if you want to do this thing where a field can be a number, an array of numbers, and or a struct, then you have to make it a union, and it needs to have 3 cases that are named, and then each case can have its own type. So you cannot do weird shit with Ziggy schema. Lastly, obviously, in a Ziggy document, you can put whatever you want. Like, obviously, you can have one version of this document that has like a string in here, and then you can have another version of this document that has a number in it, or an array of numbers, and obviously nobody can stop you. But you will not be able to then come up with a schema that maps to both types unless you completely there's a like escape hatch, which is the which is the any keyword. So whenever something is of an unknown shape or an unpredictable shape, then you can say that this struct field is any, and so you don't know what's down there. But essentially, you're not allowed. You can either eject yourself entirely from typing. Fine. For example, that might be realistic where you're dealing with a JSON API that you are like improving, and so maybe you migrate some of it into something that makes more sense, but part of it is still insane. So the only way you can represent that is by mapping it to any. Fine. But there is no way of doing this. Oh yeah, it matches a regular expression, and then once a blue moon is gonna be like this. Some other times it's gonna be like that. Blah blah blah. No, none of that. So overall, I think that Ziggy is in some ways less serious of a project than Zon, in the sense that I'm attempting design ideas that might not pan out. There was, for example, a language, like a Ziggy language feature, so a serialization language feature that I removed. They looked like built-ins. They were like at this, at that. I removed the feature because I ended up not being able to make it play well with other features and like make it as useful as I was hoping it might have been. So I removed it and replaced it with tagged unions, which are, they're tagged unions. They're kind of trivially useful. And but despite that, it is a serious project, and I want to really make this a strictly better JSON, except maybe for the ubiquity. I don't have any expectation nor dream to make this a particularly big serialization language. I don't care. I'm scratching my own itch first and foremost, and then whoever wants to join the fun, they're free. But I want to make this like at least for me, an obviously better choice than JSON. And for example, this is pretty nice for config files because if you have the tooling installed, well, if you have the Ziggy CLI tool and you have LSP, and you have the LSP configured in your editor, then as you're editing a Ziggy document, you can get all the help, all the validation, and blah blah blah. There's also some other cutesy stuff that I did where also there's also these. There's also some more stuff that I want to show. Okay, so there's this Ziggy thing. If I do this and I take this out, so structs have a dot curly opening token, while dictionaries, so JSON objects, they do not. And what you can do with the formatter is that you can take out the dot from a struct and then save, and the auto formatter will turn it into a JSON object. But I think more interestingly, you can do the opposite. You take I guess I could do this, right? You take a JSON object, so copy. Also, I need to add a trailing comma because there's also the trailing comma stuff like in Zig. But you take this, and then you put a dot, and now the auto formatter will automatically upgrade the document for you. This is cute as you're editing. The conversion tool, which is now regressed, but conversion tool already before the current regression had this already implemented, where when you convert from another type to Ziggy, you can also pass in a Ziggy schema, and the Ziggy schema will automatically upgrade things for you into structs and validate that they actually match. So the conversion is not only a conversion, but it's also a tool that guarantees that can guarantee schema conformity all at once. One last nice feature of Ziggy. This one is very minor, but I'm very proud of it. The top level element, if the top level element is a struct, you can omit the top level curlies, and you reclaim one level of indentation, which in my opinion makes this a pretty good language for config, because you don't have to have, you know, the top level, one level of nesting, which is unnecessary. And that's also what you're seeing here. The reason why this works in the front matter is because this is a top level struct with the outer curlies omitted. So, well, this is Ziggy in a nutshell. And what else? We really have no repro Ziggy schema. Okay. I can show you also how this stuff looks like with the schema. So let's say that a top level schema is a, actually, can I just copy this? Will it work? I haven't tested it, so I guess YOLO. Okay, so I'm copying from the website like the npm, the package.json definition. So this works. Also, check this out. If you do things like git contains oops, which contains package. So this is now fine because this is not an infinite loop, because package contains a repository which contains git, which contains package, but then you can loop a while and then opt for npm, and npm does not contain package. But if I add oops to npm, then it tells you that all these fields are part of an infinite loop, and so it's on you to break it. So for example, if this becomes an optional package, giving you the opportunity to put null instead of looping again, then it's not an infinite loop anymore. So I have this. Then if I open repro.ziggy, you can see that it's validating things. So I can do oh, it's not giving me that suggestion, unfortunately. Okay, so I broke some things in the language server, unfortunately, that I need to fix. But missing field description, what do you mean? Is this typoed? No. Okay, I totally have broken some stuff. Expected repository found dictionary. Yeah, so repository expected repository found dictionary. So this needs to turn into a struct. Expected repository found. Oh, repository is a union. I should specify that this is I should specify the type, or rather the container kind here, so that you know that this is supposed to be. Actually, maybe this should be expected union repository found struct. Expected license found byte. So it's not perfect. This part has still some bug fixing that is necessary, but you get the idea. I'm actually tempted to work on this right now, like fix it right away before we switch back to Zine. How hard is it? How hard could it be, right? One is just One is just, also I'm in the wrong directory. Um, one is just an error message. Actually, it's not from here. It's in schema, I think. Schema est. The error message is expected. Yeah, so we're gonna have to fix all these tests. So where is the expected these found that stuff? In here, no? Although these are parsing errors, they're not validation errors. Where are validation errors? What are we calling here? Validate. There we go. Validation error. This one. Expected sm.expected mismatch found. Oh, wait. Expected is just a string. That is interesting. So that means that somewhere we put the name in there as a slice. Oh, I see. That's why we're not saying if it's a container or not. Hmm. But we can add a field. We can say, okay, was this a struct or a union? Like essentially container kind. Hmm. And none in the case. So none is for the case where, maybe it's just not the mismatch is not with a container. So we found null, and if we find the type being optional, great. And you know what? I think we can make this equals none. And then in here we say bool found something else that doesn't matter. The only ones they want to do something about is, oh, this one, enum. Yeah, expected, and then dot find equals um, union. Okay, we already went past here. Mismatch found. Oh, what is going on here? Identifier, optional identifier. Oh, don't tell me that this would be an optional union. And we're not saying optional union. We're skipping a question mark. Hello, George Daniel. Hello, hello. You know what? I think that fixing this correctly might require a little bit more effort than what I originally expected. So I'm gonna hold off onto this. I'm not gonna do it right away. Would you mind sharing your Neovim config? Yes, it's flow-control.dev, but it's not Neovim. It's a different editor. So you're looking at a TUI editor. Yes, it's not Neovim. It's flow control, and flow supports like Sublime / VS Code mode, which is non-modal, or you could turn on modal mode, and then you can have Vim or Emacs or Helix. I'm using it with Helix keybinds. These modal modes, the Helix modal mode is not perfect yet. Neurosite, who is the creator of Flow Control, has promised to look into this soon. But I think you should expect you are guaranteed to have a perfect experience if you use the normal non-modal mode. And I think that the Neovim mode is much more complete than the Helix one, because there are a lot more Neovim users, or Vim style keybind users of Flow than there are Helix keybind users like me. Okay, let's go back to Zine. So as I was saying, my personal website builds. One problem that we're facing is daytime parsing. Last time we looked into this, the problem was the place where we parse the datetime could be the place where we also parse the date. Well, the place where we parse the union, essentially. That could be also the place where we turn the date string into an actual date. I was about to say parse, but there's a key difference. The problem is if we turn that into a hard error, if we turn that into a hard error, then we prevent the rest of the pipeline from happening because we consider it a parsing error, which would block us. But that is more of a semantic error. The date parses correctly. We correctly recognize the Ziggy document. There's no mistake there. The problem is that the date then has no correct semantic meaning. So we want to report this error later on without interrupting everything. Then, to complicate things further, we have the problem of, well, how do we report these errors? Because while we are parsing, we have information about where that piece of information, where that string is in the document. We know line and column number, essentially. But later on, we lose that information because the moment we load it as a string in memory, like once we receive from the deserializer a slice of bytes, we lost all context as to where this stuff was in the original document, which makes it harder for us to provide good feedback to the user. And this also relates to the next problem, because we had some more validation that was trying real hard to point at the right place in the front matter, but it was doing so in a janky way that I commented out because I was having a hard time remapping to the new way that this stuff works with Ziggy. So what I'm thinking is um what I'm thinking is I we might need a more like a generalized um we might benefit from having the tool give us something um something more that we don't currently have essentially um something along those lines. um so how do we do this? Huh. Maybe there's a way without adding any code. Let me try this a moment. Okay, I have way too many tabs. Let me make some order in my tabs. Zine, what is this? This is Ziggy. And then we have my documents. Okay. Let's do it this way. Ziggy and okay, so here we keep open a rebuild process. So here we keep a rebuilding Zine so that we can then test it with the website. Then in here, we go to date time. And so let's take a look again at what we're doing with datetime. So datetime has a deserialized function which entirely delegates to deserialize one and deserializes the date as a union, which is kind of what we want. This is kind of the best case for us. Then I think that we might want to save. So we have token information, to be fair. We have this. We are missing. We don't know where the last token is, though. So here's the question, I guess. What's in this serializer? Do we have in this serializer information about the like last token? Because that would be nice if we did. Alternatively, you know what? Maybe this is just the solution is just this. So when we read one, does Ziggy use the Ziggy tokenizer? No, we have our own tokenizer. So we write down also the first token. That is nice. I wish I could write down also the last token, man, but I don't have it. I could obviously add the code to track the last token, but I don't know if it's worth the extra work. Like, I don't want to specify the general case to make it easier to handle the somewhat niche case, actually pretty niche case. What's in the serializer? I really need to see what is in the serializer. Yeah, we have the tokenizer. What can the tokenizer do? The tokenizer knows its current index. And I believe at this point his index is I think at this point its index is you know what? I think we can do it like this. I think this is fair. I really think this is fair to say. Yeah. I think this is actually fair game. I think this might do the trick. Oh, I really think this does the trick. So we really don't need anything else. Oh my god, this is so good. Holy shit, this is so good. This is so fucking good, man. So if we do this, then we now know the source location information. Now we can go into page, and in the analysis phase, we also look at the date. Although, when does a page get added to? When does a page get added to the to its section? This is just all under parse, right? No. Wait, are you saying there's an analyze function? I do not believe you. Hmm. Status parsed. So does that mean that analysis happens elsewhere? Hmm. Hello, Calder. So this is indeed only the parsing phase. That was not a lie. So I think it's in parse that we do this. How do we track this information? Missing front matter, Ziggy parsing error, parsed. I think I need to have the date ready by now. This is so it In general, it would be more quote unquote clean. It would be simpler to move data the date um the date loading into the analysis phase, but I think this is too late. I think by this point we have already sorted the page in its section by date, and that's just too late. That's just too late. Let's double check this statement. Let's see if I'm actually right with what I just said. So we need to find places where parse is being called. Variant has index.parse in activate. Then we have sort pages. So there you go. We sort pages. When do we sort pages? Here we sort pages. There you go. Pages to analyze. So this is clear. First, we parse the pages. First, we kick off a bunch of jobs where we parse pages. Then we sort them, and then we do analysis. Actually, that is obvious. During analysis, we will resolve Ziggy. We will resolve Ziggy stuff that actually, will we resolve Ziggy stuff that does sorting? I don't know, maybe not. But in any case, sorting is here, so we need to have our date sorted out by the time parsing end. Okay, so in page.zig, in parse, let's say near the end, uh, we do the AST. Yeah, sounds good. Let's do the date. So we want to grab from the front matter data, which is now all of P essentially. From all of P, so P.date, I guess we kind of want to load it. Is that what we want to do in there? So if we do it now, it means that we need to put another field where we store any potential error. That seems annoying. You know what? We don't do it here. Um, we do it in root. I'm gonna leave a comment. Note, at this point, p.date contains the parsed union, the parsed row union data, but it has yet to be turned into a Zeit date. We don't do it here. So that we can avoid. We don't do it. Instead of doing it here, we do it in the root main loop in order to avoid having to store one more field into page. The date handling code will be before all the pages are sorted in each section. So we'll leave a comment that tells us where to find this information. And in here, as we are reporting errors, because for each build.variant, for each section, for each page in the section, still here pages are not sorted yet. For each page in the section, we kick off a parsing job. Then pages to parse, and wait, are we not reporting any parsing error yet? We only do it here. Oh no. Sweet. Sweet. You know what? Maybe at this point, the extra fielding page is not the end of the world. At this point, never mind. Let's put an extra field to this bad boy. So, how does it work? I think that time needs some kind of like init thing. Well, it has its own init. Which you can create from a row date. Um, you can give it load. Oh, nice. And this can return an error. So, how does this work? Guess this should be just like this. And then we're calling init, but then we want to preserve lock. Oh man, this sucks. How do we do this? This whole API is really not coming together very nicely. We could call init with its own. Okay, we save lock. And then we do var new equals dt. No. New equals init dt.row. Try. And then dt. Oh, here's how it is. dt dot underscore inst equals try dot inst. We don't need to preserve lock. Yeah, this is it. This is load. Okay. Okay, what if there is an error in here? Actually, now that I think about it, Does it matter? Yeah, it does matter. If there is an error, they want to do something like p dot parse dot date error equals error. Invalid left-hand side assignment. Oh no. I think I'm so looking forward to when iPhone is gonna fix this. Okay, this is it. Please tell me the site has a well-defined error set. Please tell me that site has a well-defined error set. Please, please, please. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. What? Isn't it instant? What API are we using? Yeah, we're doing Instant. Wait, how can this not fail? Oh, I think I'm not. I think this API has changed also since I last updated Zite. Bro, but you have to give a nice error set to your public APIs. God damn it! Otherwise, how am I gonna be able to store this information in a nice manner? Fuck! How am I gonna be able to switch on this? I mean, I can. It's just it sucks. So this is gonna be at type info instant from text or something. Actually, why does my oh, here's why it works. Oh, because I'm splitting it. Oh, wait a second. From ISO. Time from ISO. Wait. Time from ISO. Time? God damn it. This is also not specified. Hello, Solalicious. So, time from ISO. Type info dot at fn dot result type or something. I don't know. Can I go to definition on this one? No. Can I go to definition on this? Can I go to definition on type info? Oh shit. I wish ZLS did this for me. Lang type function, return type. It's optional. Dot return type. And then I have to do type info again. And this time we are in an error union, hopefully. So dot error union dot error set. Not good. Okay. There's no Zeit in here. Interesting. Well, now we do care about Zeit. Um, okay. So now we have parsed the date, or we have tried. If we fail, there's an error. Then we do the sorting. Alternatively, why are we doing the sorting before reporting errors? Why are we not delaying that? Oh, because we are scheduling things for analysis as we are looping over them to report errors. That is fair. That is fair. So this order of things makes sense. So as we are reporting errors, parse status, empty, no, front matter, blah, 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 we look at the parsed state. And here we do nothing in the parsed state. But I would say here in the parsed state, we want to do if p.parsed dot date error something continue. So we want to report an error. What do we do in other places where we want to report the errors? What is the trick? So we have to flip this. Then we have to build a path. Then we have to make an error message. And then we need also the other version of the error message, just in case they were in memory mode. Okay. So how is this going to work? How is this going to work? Uh, we want to grab from the data its selection. So const selection is going to be p.date date dot lock dot get selection to selection. Slice line selection. p dot parse dot source, full source. So get selection. Then we want to print this error with a line and something. So let me see if I can copy another message that has a little bit more, something like this. Yeah, I think I want to copy something more like this. So path. Count scalar. No. The cell dot start dot line, cell dot start dot call, and the message error, unable to parse date. And then we print the error that we got. This would work, but I want also to add the line below. We have some of these somewhere. Oh man, it looks like a nightmare. It truly looks like a nightmare. But I guess we can copy everything. What's some more copy paste among friends? So we have the location and we have the selection. But we also need the line. So p dot date dot underscore lock dot line p dot parse. So I don't know, trim. Okay, let's just extract lock so that we stop going insane. Okay. Highlight. And how do we use highlight? Like this? How do we use highlight? Let's figure it out. Line trim and then highlight. Oh, like this. Oh, that is actually nice. I think this should be our standard. Yeah. So I think we're doing good with the top line. We're missing a column. Oof. Error, unable to parse date, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then that. So line trim, highlight. Well, we'll see. Okay. Do we build? Expected type found function. Hello, selected Bluetooth. No parsed. Right. Expected optional type. Found this error set. Oh. Well, no, it needs to be optional. So even more types, man. Look at this signature. I blame I blame Roku Rager. Parse lock. Yeah, I was totally going insane with where this stuff was stuffed. There is no get selection in optional tokenizer token lock. Oh. Oh shit. What if there is no location and we fail to parse the date? That these in this place it's a not question mark. It has to be there in this case. No formatting slice. Oh, this. Missing start field date error. Okay. Expected type daytime row found optional daytime row. Right. Well, let's say that it is like this. Okay. So we're able to run this and it works. If we go to the homepage, now the dates work again. June 3rd, May 23rd, whatever. So this all works. Let's go to my software North Star and let's see what happens if we mess up the date. Okay, let's see. Well, that is bad because we why are we not complaining? Why are we not complaining? So this clearly failed. Why are we not complaining? Why are we not complaining? Oh, because look what we're doing. Shit. We are assigning. We have to do it last. There we go. Now we get an error. And it's actually pretty sweet. Holy shit. Check this out. Error. Unable to parse date invalid character. Boom. I think we had the original version of this had an extra new line in between. And I think, actually, no, it did not. Do we want an extra new line? You know what? I think we might want an extra new line. I'm gonna see if it's good. This is pointing at exactly the right place. This is delightful, by the way. Absolutely delightful. Do we like this extra new line? Frankly, I think we do. I think we like this extra new line. Now, it would be nice if um, Zeit gave us something more than just invalid character. If Zeit gave us the offset where there is an invalid character, we could do even more with this error reporting. We could point at the exact character where this is going wrong. In Super HTML, we do this a lot. But unfortunately, Zeit is not my code, and so it's not designed to support this use case. I'll say I'm starting to get an itch to make my own daytime parsing library precisely to support my advanced use cases. But not now. So, good error message. Good job, B. Ding. So this fixed daytime parsing, unregressed, and yeah, it works. You know what? Also, that I'm thinking about it, we could respect this same stuff also from Ziggy. Like every time we load from a Ziggy, we keep track of this token information. It's not that much. We're only saving around, like we're wasting 8 bytes essentially, which is a price that I'm willing to pay. Um, I'm saying this with with the same tone of Lord Farquhar, because at the end of the day, these are not my bytes anyway. These are like the user bytes. But I am willing to make this sacrifice because it would mean that we would be able. Would we be able always to? Huh, would we always be able to report where the stuff is in source? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know, but I guess it's fine. Ah. So, um, this is pure delight. Great improvement over what we had before with Zine. I don't even know what we had before. Actually, I do know. It was just not good. Like if you have an old Zine on your computer and you mess up a date, I actually encourage you to go and do that if you have it handy. You will not have a good experience with the error that Zine gives you. Absolutely. Okay, so this is done. What is the next problem? Page error location commented out. Right. Oof. This is like a harder version of what we just did. Hopefully we leveled up enough. Next is context.zig union value support. Right. I think we need to add a new type to our list of Ziggy types. We need to add the concept of a union. Okay. So give me one sec. I'll quickly do a bathroom break, maybe refill my drinking stuff. And then, yeah, we keep tackling these other ones. I think we are in a good position to deal with them. I'll be right back. Uh, I am back. Actually, didn't get anything to drink, but I'll fix that in a moment. Yeah, let me write a message. Okay, sorry. Hmm. Sorry, just leaving a comment on a discussion, and then I'll resume work. Do-do-do-do-doom. Uh, Okay. I'm back. Mentally back. So we are correctly reporting wrong dates. That is delightful. That is absolutely delightful. Let's unbork this. Now this is fixed. Let's break something else though. I think that blog index MD is the one that has alternatives. Okay. What happens if I break this? So this is actually an error that you could very well make. And we have this. We are reporting all errors. Unfortunately, we are not providing a location where the syntax error is, but I think it's fine if it's just syntax. So this is fine. But what about, for example, this? I think colon is a symbol that you cannot put in paths. Is it not? No. Um, what if it's not an absolute path? It is also fine. God damn it, man. Wrong layout. Invalid layout and alternatives. There we go. And then we don't know what the heck to print because yeah. So okay, I guess the question number one is what's an alternative? It's on page. It's in the front matter. It's a struct. It has the options to skip a field. But but it does not have, it is missing essentially tracking information. If this alternative kept around information about its fields, it would be delightful. Essentially, what we pulled off with date, it would be nice if we could pull it off with alternative. The difference, though, is that date is a kind of an opaque object. From script, you can't access it, so it's fine for it to have complicated guts. While this struct does not have complicated guts, and we do not want to complicate its guts past adding a field if possible. This is actually making me think that maybe there should be an option to ask Ziggy for a location. Meaning, a struct can ask the deserializer to provide it with um with uh well start and end location of where it is in the original code as part of its data, kind of like this. And then that has to be in here. And then there's this. And we say if a struct has a lock field, we put in there its location automatically without you having to do the work manually. Or we could make it more complicated. We could make it so that lock is something that collects locks for all the fields of this struct. That could also be cool. It would be a lot of tracking though. I think this is more than enough actually. Actually, lock is even too much because we would be fine with a starting index. We wouldn't even need anything more than that. Well, no, we need to slice the thing because otherwise no serializer will be right. Although in our case, we could actually, the tokenizer would be enough. We just keep looking for identifiers. That is genius, man. That is absolutely genius. Holy shit. But let's make a more general purpose feature allocation. Okay, let's add this to Ziggy. So we go into root. We say that skip fields and then lock field. Uh, if set if set the the source location of where this struct was loaded from in the Ziggy document will be saved in this field. The field in question must be listed in skip fields and the field in question must be yeah. So then we can go into deserializer. There's also get options. I think we need validation in get options. Where is it? or any other semantic error is found. Yes. So get option. If it's one of those guys, blah, blah, blah. There's no Ziggy options, return null. Wrong type. Complain. Then if t.ziggy options dot block field so if there is a block field, if std mem.index of field enum t t.ziggy options dot skip fields lf is -1, must be listed there. I think there is more to this. I think that if type info is a union or an enum, it cannot have skip fields. Oh, well, I guess that's something like this. And this is kind of in here. While in union in enum, yeah, this is good metaprogramming validation. There could be more, but I think these are good. So with this, we have lock field. Then in deserializer, we go into um, we're going to struct And we got look at the first token. We grab skip fields. So let's do it like uh, lock field. So what do we do with lock field? If lock field is set, we have field token, which is the first field. Oh, first is the first token. Okay, so we have first. Um, Get field result. So we set start. And then how do we do this? Do we do this on the way back? Do we kind of like do some kind of defer? Actually, maybe we can move this up above. Tokenizer IDX. I think this might actually be it. Like quite literally. This. Just this. Expected optional type found void. Okay. So in theory, we have this. And now alternative knows where it is in the code. So in theory, we could point at the whole range. But here's how we can hack this. So in page, yeah, location, right? Yes, location. Error. Index into aliases, index into holy shit, aliases has the same problem. Oh damn! With this, we were reporting not only alternative errors, we were reporting also alias errors. Oh my god, man! Oh my god, man! I think never mind. I maybe I'll leave the feature there because it might be useful, but yeah, never fucking mind. Yeah, we can't do this. We have to loop over the AST. There is literally no solution. Let's start with alias. Alias seems actually layout and alias are the simpler ones. Yeah, they are literally in order of complexity. So layout. Why is this 2? This needs to be 1. Then we start from the first field until we find the layout. Okay, this was actually not that bad. Man, janky as fuck, but okay. Again, start from 1, start from 2, find aliases, and then move. Well, there's also this that I messed up. Because when we find a field with a field name layout, we want that token. What's field name? Oh, ast.field name. We're supposed to return a location. I think ast.field name should be better than this. Location or the full token? I think I might as well just return the full token. Yeah, so this returns everything that we need. Field name. Or we could have two different functions, field name source, field name lock, but that's a lot. It's wasted effort. So return this. So this case is correct. Then this case works as long as we do this. Aliases. Aliases we know. Oh, but there's comments, my dude. Oh, right, but comments are not nodes, so that's fine. So what we're doing here is we're just looking for the name aliases, and then we want identifier.next ID. So first of all, it's next IDX, right? This stuff now. Yeah. Yep. Then grab the field name, aliases. Then we want fuck. We we need the can we do current and next IDX? No, we can't. Oh god damn it. So up here we can loop on a node, and that is fine. We're not getting punished for that. Actually, we are, because this one's a node index. Never mind. In all of these, we need to do IDX starts at 2. Oh, maybe we can guess we can do this. Do we defer assigning to IDX? I don't think we do. And put it in an else. It's a start field. IDX. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Otherwise, IDX equals current next IDX. There you go. Okay. Then here, two. This doesn't exist. Looping condition down here. Field name on IDX. If succeeds, it's IDX plus 1 to go to the child plus A to offset that deep into the array. Okay. And now the nestier one. So I think that the lock thing in the end is kind of a dead idea. It might be useful for somebody else. I really think it's not a bad idea, but not for us. So I'm gonna turn that stuff off in any case in our implementation here. So again, node 1. Must be start field. Identifier, we have field name. Current alt. And now we're doing everything again one layer below. So we need to, let's rename this. FM IDX. It's the front matter IDX. While this is the, I mean, frankly, it doesn't matter that we separate them because once we enter in this if, we're not exiting from it anymore. So sure. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's see. So we grab alternatives. Then current alt is its child. That is correct. That is indeed IDX plus 1. For 0 alt ID, current alt equals, right? We move that many children forward. Next ID X. That puts us to the current alt. This is what we're looking for. Why am I not doing tag name? Tag name. Okay, I see current field. There's another loop. Okay, this also needs to be fixed. Although, to be fair, yeah, to be fair, we are not updating the index. To be fair, we're not updating the index, and we should. Update IDX. We need to update IDX also out here in case that we never enter this for loop. Then current field is gonna be, well, we have IDX, so this can be made a const. Okay, let's double check. We have IDX that at the end of the day is set to the ID of the current alt, which is fine. Then This is the field that we're at. And how do we move to the next field? We do idx equals alt field.next idx. This makes us move to the next index. And then here we need to find the field name, for which we have this. Actually, what's interesting is that I could move these two things down here. And this assert is wrong. Alt field.tag. That is interesting. Same can be said here, right? Same here. And same here. Huh. Interesting. No. Alt F name. And we're trying to find the value. But you think it's IDX plus one. Here we want to point to the value. Here also we want to point to the value, frankly. Actually, yeah, this is not it. Oh, that is interesting. We actually want AST nodes. IDX plus one dot lock. Turns out we never cared about this lock. Does this mean the field name was right to not return a lock? Here we're not returning a lock. Boy, don't tell me we'll never return that lock ever. Well, okay. Let's see. Expected type, slight const of t, pound t. What? What? 137. In Ziggy root 137. Oh, here? What did I do wrong? Type high stuck needle. Oh, index of have been renamed to find. Okay. So, it returns an optional. Oh, why does it not like though? Keep fields. And then LF lock field. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, this is the correct version, but that error that I'm seeing, I don't get it. Oh, because it's find scalar. Oh my god. Okay, so we're left with one bug in ZST somehow. What? Missing start field delimiter? It doesn't delimiter have a default field? What's going on? Oh, it's field name. Okay. Yeah, what about delimiter, man? Shit. None? I mean, we're just dealing with a tokenizer to find a field name. I guess doesn't matter. Does AST have this information? Oh yeah, it does have it. There you go. So we can even do the right thing, the formally right thing. Okay, so this guy needs an init. You need the limiter lines. Oh. Yeah, but it shouldn't matter. Okay, never mind. No, we hard code this. Happy? Okay. Missing field lock. Okay, let's remove the lock stuff. Oh my god. Page. It is in skip fields though. Hmm. Rich and removable code. Nodes 1 is not a struct H. Okay. So that actually surprises me. That means that we have no root. We start at 0. Is this it? Hmm. You know what we should assert before we assert this? We should assert that the AST has no errors. And I bet you that that assert is gonna trip. I think that the problem is that we might be fucking up some part of how that is initialized. No, never mind. Errors are 0. What? We are not fucking up that ASC initialization, apparently. Oh, route 1037. Let's just double check. Let's just see what's in there. 1037. Let's see. ASC init, arena, full source. Yeah, actually, we do this right. We do this right indeed. Ew. There you go. So, this is done right. Oh, we already catch unreachable doing it, but no, that catch unreachable is absolutely out of place. That is totally possible to fail with out of memory there. Holy shit. Uh, sure, other errors cannot happen, but ZGSC does not report errors anymore. So what are we doing wrong? So there is a root node. So why shouldn't... Oh, I know why. One was right. Wait, can we undo stuff in here? You know what? I want oh no. Okay, I'm gonna keep this and then redo the numbering. So that was actually correct. But also the bracelet struct case. There we go. Now we fail elsewhere. Or not. Okay, let's see what's in there. A date? An array? Where's my print, man? 242. Oh, okay. So wait, right? I need to fix this elsewhere. Okay. I think we are doing fine. Field name, no tag start field or date field. We are passing in the wrong index. 258. Of course, we are in the most complex case. One, two, field name, index equals alternatives. Yeah, frankly, I could move these up there. But then I would have to leave this down here. That doesn't matter. If it is alternatives, then cool. Is it 248 that explodes? It's not, right? It's 258. This one that explodes. Yeah, so we're fucking up this logic in here. So here we're doing it right. Then we find alternatives. We want to do +1. We get to the child. We grab the first child. Yeah, we're missing a +1 at some point. I can already smell it. We're missing a second +1 um elsewhere. Okay, let me. We are centered on the start field that contains alternatives. Alternatives has inside of its child node, so the +1, the ones right after, it has an array. So we start looping these arrays a bunch of times. Boop, 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 boop. And then, sorry, those array entries. Is this a +2? Yeah, this is a +2. We need an assert. Assert that current alt dot tag is. Is it a strat? No, actually it's worse because I think that array contains array elements. So we're essentially looping on array elements. Is that correct? Oh yeah. So we're looping on array elements, which is fine. Then after we're done looping on array elements, we need to enter the array element, which is +1. So is it IDX +2? Also, why did I do +2 here? No, I think this is still +1. No, it is +2 because we don't want to get to the array. We want to get into the first array element. Okay, let's see how this works. There we go. Okay, so we got this. Empty name. Empty name also found. Empty output. Crash. Assertion failure. Really? Wait, it worked for the other two. Why would it not work for this one? How did this one not work? Is the tag name wrong? Name path layout. Yes, is this it? It's because I renamed it to output. I renamed it to output and then it wasn't matching anymore now. Okay, so we reported the error, but interestingly, we crash afterwards because we hit an assertion. That's bad. I mean, that's good that we're hitting the assertion, but we should realize that this is a blocking problem. Where are we getting to 1326? Alternatives. Like, are we not just done reporting errors or something? If not parse errors, so we are reporting that there are analysis errors here. Oh, output URL collision detection. If not parse errors. So here we are not stopping if there are analysis errors. We're reporting these errors, and that is what's causing trouble. Because here we're saying we're making an assertion. The extension hey has a length greater than 0. But um, to make these assertions, we need to gate this behind analysis errors. That's the only way. There we go. Okay, so this now has been fixed. Let's fuck up the layout. Yep. What happens if I empty the layout? What are you going to say now? Okay, you're going to complain, but not going to crash. Perfect. Aliases is another thing that we could mess up. There we go. Invalid value in aliases. Limau causes a crash. Oh my fucking god, man. I think these asserts are just for convenience. You know what? I don't think that these asserts are there for hard reasons, but at the same time, also, why is this not reported as an error? Oh man. Okay. This is not a big deal though. These are like annoying things that are out of sync, but nothing crazy. Um, so we have fixed this. These two remain. I think I'm gonna stop here. This was good work for today. We really got back into. We got control back. We now control again what's going on in Zine when it comes to error reporting. I find it kind of cute that I'm finding all these tiny things that have gone out of sync. I'm obviously not elated to find these crashes, but yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this is cool. So thank you all for hanging out. I hope everybody had a good time, and I think I'll see you all next time. Hopefully, less tedious stuff, but such is life. Sometimes development is just tedious upgrading of your libraries and just figuring out what is the new way of doing